Hello, it's Williams Claire, and we're back with another video. What are we doing today?
So now that we're done with elections, now there are talks of forming a new government.
Yeah.
And the ANC is in a very, very tricky situation right now.
Oh, yes.
As they're the party with the most votes, they still have the power to decide how the government is formed.
Yes. Yes.
Unless the opposition is all combined.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen clearly. So the ANC has to decide now how to form the government. And there's been some opinions about that between choosing the DA and choosing left-wing liberation struggle parties like MK and AFF.
Yeah.
Let's just check out this clip first, then you tell me what you think about it.
In the economy, because it's not a fair game, you understand? So they want to change that. Ishluthu Phambili is an opposite of this. They are standing for the interest of umuntu oneshluthu. So if you know that oneshluthu lana, these are your people. They're also friends with this, which is good, because if we are friends with this, at least we don't need this that much. They're saying there needs to be nationalization of mines and the Reserve Bank. The mines of the country, the minerals of the country cannot be owned by an individual. These things need to belong to the state so that they can benefit the government, the state, and they can benefit the people of the country, which is you and I. They want justice because even our courts are a little bit compromised. They want equity. What does equity mean? Equity means that if you are privileged more than I am, we can't be expected to perform the same and give the same results. Therefore, the ground that we stand on needs to be balanced first. Because whenever you can't be upstairs and I'm downstairs and we're expected to perform the same. You get it? So this one has to choose. And whatever choice this makes is going to show exactly who this is. Because for the longest time, this one has pretended to be kumbaya, peace for all. But now, the lines have been clearly set. You need to choose. And whatever choice this one takes is going to show you exactly who this person is. Now, you are going to hear words like rand strength, rand value, investors pulling out. You're going to hear all those things being thrown out. Those things you should not worry about because they can be cooked. And again, you remember I told you that we have our friends here. Our friends here and our friends here. And we have what? We have minerals. And with these people, we will still be able to do what? We will still be able to take out our minerals and process them and make money with them, with our minerals. Of course, there will be a little bit of conflict along the way.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh my God, spot on. Well, she clearly just mapped out everything of like really where we stand with things, right? But the thing that I like that she highlighted is the fact that now the ANC is going to be seen for who they are and where they fall, on which side of the spectrum they fall.
So this is a very interesting situation, and the ANC kind of put themselves in this situation.
Yes.
And now they have to make the decision. So the ANC, for lack of taking action over the past 30 years, have now put themselves in a situation where now they
don't have a choice.
Where they have to choose either
your friends that we know you've been
maintaining a status quo or actually being about the liberation that you keep saying that you are, but you haven't done anything. This thing here is it's exposing a lot of things, but ultimately what this is about now, and unfortunately it will always be this way until we have true equality. Ultimately what this is about now is picking between white and black. This is what it's about now. So the ANC has to decide, should we pick the white, maintain the status quo, enrich ourselves, and make the investors happy, or the market happy, or should we choose the blacks, fight for liberation, fight for equality,
we make a huge disruption, but it will be for the betterment of the majority of South Africans.
Now, sadly, I'm of the opinion of that it will always be about race until
there is equality.
Until there is wealth equality.
Absolutely.
Right now, there is clear classism. And it's clear classism by race.
By race.
Clearly.
Because things are unevenly distributed. Things are, more to one side than the other.
So ideally, what we would have wanted is like, okay, picking between capitalism and socialism, but there's no race underlying that whole.
How has it become that the socialism side is predominantly for black people and the capitalism side is? It just clearly shows you where we are at as a country.
So this will always be the case. I want people to understand.
Yes.
We will always be talking about race. We will always be talking about these issues until we solve these core issues, which is wealth inequality.
Yeah.
We need, there shouldn't be classism based on race. Otherwise we'll never have a fair argument about capitalism or a fair argument about socialism. It's just going to be about race.
And we're all just going to be frustrated with each other because at the end of the day, the race thing will always be in the conversation because the race is the core of the inequality. And when you cannot speak about inequality in South Africa without mentioning race in the same sentence.
Because the previous government formed that inequality based on race.
And our current government is apologetic to that government and apologetic to that situation.
So let's discuss the two scenarios now.
Yeah.
So the ANC has to choose between the DA or forming a government with EFF, MK, or EFF or MK, either one, or both. So basically, the ANC has to choose between forming a capitalist government or forming a communist or socialist government.
Yes.
Right. So what is the DA offering? So you have a situation where this company, a shareholder, executive manager, all white, the labor force getting paid below minimum wages, getting paid a wage where they cannot sustain their living.
Yes.
They want to they want to relax labor laws, they want to relax labor unions as well. So the worker doesn't have much protection in terms of fighting back against being exploited.
Yeah.
That's the kind of system that DA wants to implement. But they say that the more companies we have like this, or the more companies we can reduce, the more workers we can have.
Yes.
Right? And the more people have jobs, the economy grows, everybody's happy, we're all making money, the markets are happy, the rand is stronger, cost of living is less, That's the ideal scenario, right? But from experience, lived experience, we understand that there's a catch to that. Status quo needs to remain.
Yes.
Those who have the wealth needs to keep the wealth, right? And then they want to create just a larger larger labor force for those who have the wealth, right? And then you go to the other side. You have the MK, EFF. Now their government says that we don't want a situation where there's a John Rupert who's holding all the wealth. We don't want that, right? We want somebody.
The wealth is ours.
Yes.
All of us. We all have a share in the wealth.
So now we want the government
to be the holder, the keeper.
Yeah, to hold that wealth. We want the government to hold that wealth, and then the government can decide or equally distribute the wealth. So capitalists' biggest argument against this is that this is not good for the economy. This will tank the rand. Investors will pull out. Whatever, the same old. Look at Venezuela, look in Zimbabwe, look at all those countries there. The main argument for capitalism is that it's best for economic growth.
Yeah.
And that will be the best solution for people.
Yes.
So, depending on where you are economically right now in this country, you will either choose to be a capitalist I want capitalism, or you will choose to be a socialist or communist. depending on where you are economically.
Yeah.
So then now you have poor people saying, no, I want communism because capitalism is not working for me. I am poor. I have nothing. This capitalist society that you want is just going to make me a worker or a slave to the people who have the power. And the capitalists are saying, yeah, we want to make more money. We want the economy to grow. That's better for everybody. And then you have the middle people, what you call the middle class.
Yes.
We have the middle class now. Now the middle class.
That is the most split people out. Like.
Yeah. Now they have that difficult decision to say that, okay, if I want to better myself, I'm going to be a capitalist.
Yeah.
But if I want to better everybody, I'm going to be a socialist. So that's the decision they have to make, and that's the decision the ANC has to make.
Yes.
If they want to better themselves,
individually and personally,
continue to enrich themselves.
Yes.
They're going to be
of which they're just going to prove people right in what they've been thinking of them all along. Is that so? You guys are.
And then, if they want to improve everyone
and stick to the original mandate,
they're going to be socialist communist. And again, it's like, okay, the capitalists are okay with classism in society. They're okay with that.
Of course.
So again, that's what the middle class has to deal with as well. It's like, do I always want to be a second-class citizen in my own country?
Yes.
Or do I want to be equal to everybody?
Yes, yes.
That's the decision you have to
make.
And
I feel like that is a huge reality with the middle class. They understand that you're not quite there, my friend, and it's not easy to be quite there. You know what I'm saying? You'll always be somehow, in some form, or another, second class.
So, again, I wouldn't mind that if it's classism based on skill or based on merit.
Merit, yes.
But it's classism based on race.
On race.
Because the race...
That's the thing that we would like to correct.
The race inequality hasn't been solved.
Yes.
So now, even if you have this perfect capitalist society...
You can work however hard, my dear. It doesn't matter.
There's still going to be that classism based on your race. So again, ultimately, if you really want to solve this issue of race, and you want the rainbow nation,
you know what to do
for what it is, for what you want it to be.
You know what to do.
You know that we need to distribute the wealth. So again, ultimately, if you want race to always be a deciding factor in every decision that we make as a country, then keep the status quo as it is.
Absolutely.
Race will always be a deciding factor.
Always be a thing.
Always.
It will always be.
That will never change because there's going to be classism based on race.
Yes.
So even right now, we should be talking about capitalism or socialism, but because it's embedded in race, it has to be a race issue.
Black or white.
It has to be a race issue. So if you want to stop this whole race chat, equalize the country first.
You can't suffer Africans in Africa, bruh. That's crazy business.
Well, that's what's been happening, and they cool with that. So again, as a capitalist, I understand the argument, and you don't mind classism, which is fine. My only issue is that it's going to be classism based on race, which is not fine. And as a socialist or communist, again, it's also this. I've also just been thinking about this. It's this idea again that the African way, right? The African way and how Africa used to work before we were colonized is that you had your leader who held all the wealth.
Yeah.
And then your leader would distribute.
And everybody was happy with that because we'd see, but what's there too much there or whatever. And if anything was given more, it was on merit. It was on, we all understood, that they worked hard for that. They did this and they deserved it.
So again, like, the African way was like you had monarchs. Monarchs had held all the resources in that land, and then the monarchs would distribute those resources to the people. And then the monarch decides how the people live and how much wealth is distributed like that. The AFF want to go back to like that African way. And then obviously you have the white people who want to go the European route, which is capitalism. That's how they made their wealth, through capitalism. So it's also just a fight in ideology.
Yeah.
Basically African European.
And that's why everybody's very passionate about it because it's the makeup.
Which is fine.
It's genetic makeup.
I would have loved these arguments if race wasn't involved in it.
Yeah.
now we can actually debate the actual ideas. Yeah.
Because you have within that, there are people who do share, you know, opposite ideologies and believe in the opposite, you know, but like we can't help that the big driver is race for now.
It's a very interesting time that we are in now. We're very interested to see the decision that the ANC makes, or what government they choose to form.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are saying if the ANC chooses to form a government with the DA, that's the end of the ANC.
Yeah.
And the people will basically vote them out in the next coming elections.
Absolutely.
And so forth. And so, again, understand that the power lies with the majority of people, and the majority of people right now are black people.
Yes.
So you can't make a society that oppresses the majority.
Yeah.
You can't.
And you can't blatantly ignore what the majority is.
And you can't ignore the needs of the majority as well. So again, that's how governments fall. That's how the previous government fell. And this is how this government as well, this government for the past 30 years is falling as well, because they're not meeting the needs of the majority. Take that into consideration. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Because this is a very interesting topic.
It really is.
Yeah, but don't forget to like and subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.
I think South Africans need to realize that 30 years since independence, black South Africans are still not going anywhere. The economic power continues to rest in the hands of the white people. And so what you saw during this election is a referendum on how ANC has performed to date. Something has got to give. I've often said, if the situation in South Africa is not equalized, there's going to be a more serious revolution taking place in South Africa. So those results are a warning to ANC to say, you better shape up. So I'm hoping that they can come up with a government of unity that includes MK and EFF, and definitely not DA. Because if they do include DA in that government of national unity, that would be their demise. South Africa must equalize the playing field. It's a warning to ANC that something needs to give. The people are demanding results. The people are demanding change. The people know better. The people know a country like South Africa has enough riches to make sure that everybody who lives in South Africa is comfortable. And so it should be a warning to other leaders as well that you must take care of your people.